Good morning, everybody. This is Rosemary O'Brien, Wellbeing and Life Coach for Women. And I'm starting today a series of interviews with inspiring and motivating women over 50 and their story to help share and encourage women and men too, if that's in their calling, to not let age hold them back from achieving their dreams and living the life they really want. So here with me now, I have Sue. Welcome, Sue, and thank you for joining me. And would you like to introduce you and your business?
Okay, my name is Sue Foley, and I've got a website called thecauseandeffect.com, and I've got a Facebook page called The Cause and Effect, which is going to be my business name when I get to the tax man. So it'll be called Cause and Effect in Action.
Cool, that's great.
Yeah, because everything is about taking action. Yeah.
Yes, and some of us actually are a bit slow on that. We do that procrastination because of fear, which we all know about. So, and I'm sure it's happened to you as it did with me, and it took me a long time to make a transition from the rural area into the coastal and changing my whole lifestyle, which I will talk about later on in another interview. But what we're here to talk about is age. And I'm sure you've had that conversation with many women too, Sue, that age holds them back. So the impact, how has it affected you? Has age held you back?
Age has actually not held me back at all. But I know it has for some. They reach that milestone. And even in their 30s, they go, oh, I'm 30. And, oh, my goodness, I'm 40. So I celebrated my 60th just last year, and I think I'm more empowered, more ready to do more of anything that's I want to do, because I also know that life is finite. So I haven't really been impacted by defining my ages. I can only reach a certain benchmark, really.
Okay, that's great. So what would you say to women that is saying, as you just said, 30s and 40s, and you've just turned 60, what would you say to them about them changing their beliefs or living their, and I don't like to keep saying living their dreams. It's just basically living the life they choose without that trait.
Well, I think we all do have a purpose, and I think it is about, maybe leaving your legacy behind for whatever you want to be doing. And I know there's those zones in life where, you're in your 20s, you're out partying and having a great time, and you're just doing the doing, and you're having the experiences of your life maybe, but then there's people that don't have wonderful experiences in their life. But then you get to a phase of, I think it's in the 40s, because I've studied this as a school teacher, you get to different phases where you're reflective, or you're looking at maybe the 40s, you're looking at careers. And I remember when I was around mid-40s maybe, early 40s, sitting outside with my cup of tea that I usually have in the morning and screaming out to the universe, just tell me what I'm supposed to do. Because I was in that zone of being, I just don't want to go to work from 9 to 5. I just don't want to keep living the same old, same old. Surely there's more to life than just earning the bucks. So I did that for quite a while, and then I started to notice how things came into my life without realising that it was actually probably the universal laws that were providing for me. So I've always felt very supported when I needed to have support, whether that's financial, whether that's the materialistic things coming in. And it's always come in at times that I've really, really needed it. So I got onto that belief system. And so then I became aware of coincidences and how I can either do something with that coincidence or do nothing with that coincidence. And I had a conversation with my sister, who was struggling at the time with not coping. She didn't realise that she had a brain tumour, a benign brain tumour. And so I was talking to her outside with my cup of tea and going, oh, she's in a halfway house and they're looking after her. And I'm saying, and are they giving you any massages? And she said, no, there's no massages. And I'm going, well, why? You need to relax. You need to feel comforted. You need to feel supported. So I had the goosebumps at that point. And I think that was a coincidence for me because I really wanted to drive the plan for my sister to help her get better. I had it all in my head for her.
Yeah, beautiful.
Because she was family,
yeah.
I had that passion to be of support for her. And so then I went, right, that's it. All the stress, all this nonsense, people need a break from all of that. So I came up with this idea, okay, I'm going to have a retreat, a weekend retreat, maybe 3-day weekend retreat, and invite people in and give them the tools. So that was probably 6 years ago. And so I've started to put things in place in that regard. Never, ever thought that age was anything. I just kept on going with the doing because I really had this passion to help or give back, or whatever it was about me that was passionate about doing this type of stuff. And then I did all the study and everything's got kind of sidetracked and, and then all my retreat was watered down per se. And, it was only yesterday I was thinking, no, I really need to keep going with that.
And sometimes it's pretty easy to get off track. But as you said, it's really interesting, how many times do we sit with our cup of teas and we're actually having a conversation, and it's in that conversation that we actually get some more awareness of who we are. We get awareness of where other people are sitting. We see their fear. So if you had someone that came up to you and said, gee, you're 60, I could not do what you've done. I could not change a career, or I could not even contemplate what you are doing. What encouragement would you give them to take a go? Like, it's not about failure either if they had a go and it didn't work for them. It's to say, okay, I've had a go. So how would you encourage them?
Well, it is just having a go. And I've done the hard yards, so I guess I appreciate and value a whole lot of stuff. Being the single parent, and I just had to step up. I just had to. That was my responsibility to do that and create a lifestyle that I wanted for my daughter. So in turn, I needed to create what I wanted out of life. And you just have to. You have choices to sit back and let it all slip by, which some people do because of that fear factor, and never getting to live life in ways that you desire. And by the time you think about your work zone is from your 20s right up until you're 65, you have that commitment. If you're going to stay in that same job, doing the same things that you may not be passionate about just to earn the money, well, then you're not really living life of passion, living a life of your dream. So I think part of my personality became one of, I just have to get going, get moving, which I had to do as a sole parent. I was had no money. Went to New Zealand and came back to Australia was like $1,000. No car, no nothing. So maybe I'm a bit of a risk taker, and maybe that's part of the deal. But things fell into place at that point in my time as well. I was asked to house sit a house.
Yeah. And
for 4 weeks, and then I got a job, and so then before I had the money, and somebody else had been kicked out of their flatting situation. So the house sitter people said, would you mind if this person came and stayed as well? No problem. She came. So these are the coincidences that come into play. We ended up flatting together. She paid half the bond. That allowed me to get into a place. And so I did. I worked really hard because I wanted more of what I wanted. And a thought's just come up to me. There was another single parent that I knew, and she always bought what she wanted. And so I thought, oh, well, I can never afford that. I don't have the money. But then one day I needed a washing machine, so I went and bought this washing machine that was only 2 years old. I'm thinking, how am I going to pay for this? It was all of my money. And so I stepped up my benchmark, and I think that played a big part in my life. I really just took the leap. If she can do it, I can do it. I'm going to buy that washing machine. And I always remember it. And from there on in, I never bought what I thought, oh, they'll just do.
That's fantastic, Sue. And I do believe too, we listen to other people's, and we might feel that this is the right path for us, but then we start to come into family beliefs, oh, you can't do that, or a friend might say, don't be silly. And so then we start living their life and not our own. And then when we come to an age, it's like, I know when I turned 48 and left a marriage of 20 plus years, I'd been living everybody else's life. And then you'd get into bed and you'd say, well, what happened to my life? What happened to all my dreams and goals? And, what about me type thing? And that's not being selfish. It's saying, okay, so you're acknowledging where you are and what is it you want to do. And then you start making some changes, which is fantastic for all of us.
Yes, we can all make change. And I think it is that fear factor, and also listening to other people who, comments can go quite deep sometimes, and you start challenging those, which might become a belief. And I think people go, well, if they think that of me, then maybe they are right.
Yeah. That's right.
Or maybe they aren't.
And sometimes you thought, oh, God, I'm the common denominator. And, like, oh, gee, this is not working, so perhaps I better just be quiet and sit back. And in that, we're actually then doing judgment to ourselves. And we can actually make ourselves sick because we're not doing what we want to do. We're still doing what everyone else thinks we should be doing. And I love that word should, because it's about could. What could we be doing? And the belief in ourselves, what we can achieve. Yeah, so that's pretty awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any more you'd like to say there, Sue?
Well, I just, because of the money factor, like I wanted an Aboriginal painting once, and I knew that they cost like $1,000. So this is in my late 20s. I just set about and made one for myself.
Oh.
I've just finished tiling downstairs. I tiled upstairs. It just, and that's another thing that came into play. My neighbour was a tiler. So she came and started the pattern off for me. And so people go, wow, you're amazing. No, I just do it. I think I have this philosophy, one step at a time. And I looked at how this tiling downstairs that I've done, and I went, oh, God. Just one step, one tile, one more tile.
Yeah.
And that's the same with life, just one step, one more thing, one way forward. And I know life can happen for people and people die, but I just keep saying, I'm not ready yet. I haven't finished living and experiencing what I really want to be doing, my passion, my desire, my who I am for being on this planet, I guess.
And that's so true. And we all have, it is really, what is our passion? What is our desire? And as a nurse, and I've nursed for over 40 years, I was actually reading a book a few weeks back, and it was all about, she'd picked a palliative nurse that actually picked 5 stories that were quite profound for her. And all of them had on their deathbed, were all saying all the things that they actually wanted to achieve and do, and they actually hadn't done it because of their beliefs, because of family pressures, money. There was a whole heap of things, and I was like, wow, what's the impact for so many people? And it's not just, we can do so much with and without money. We can put an intention in, and as you said, it's just amazing how the universe will give you messages of which direction to go, which direction not, but you've actually got to connect to yourself and have that mindfulness and awareness.
Yes.
I'm sure you agree with your EFT.
Absolutely. And yeah, having that sit down conversation with yourself, because thoughts will come.
Yes, they will.
Yeah, they just do.
Yeah.
I mean, when we're sharing a message, first the thought comes in. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good. Well, thank you so much, Sue, for joining me this morning. It's been fantastic and very inspiring, and I'm sure a lot of women are going to enjoy listening to this, and perhaps they might actually make some changes for themselves as well. So thank you.
Yeah, so I hope it inspires somebody to doing more.
I'm sure it will. So check out Sue's website, and I will actually put it at the bottom of the recording. I'll also put my website and Facebook group. I do a lot of health coaching as well, and empowering women to really learn to love themselves unconditionally with mindfulness, awareness, and connecting to their inner self and their messages. So thanks again, Sue, and we'll talk soon.
My pleasure. Thank you.